As we all know, we're on a journey to self mastery on this channel. So that requires a lot of self reflection. This week, I've been putting myself in other people's shoes. My son and I bumped heads the other day, and I really wanted to break down why we both felt the way that we did so that we don't have screaming matches anymore. So he felt controlled, and I felt like he was disrespecting me because he didn't give me what I asked him to give me in a reasonable time, and I didn't appreciate the energy he was speaking to me with. So I have to unpack that. If I don't unpack behaviors and thought patterns, I'm going to be stuck repeating them, and I don't want to do that. It really does mean a lot to me to break generational curses. And when I say a generational curse, I simply mean the behaviors and the behavioral patterns that continue over and over again, generation from generation, because we see what our parents do and we repeat those behaviors, and then we raise children that repeat those behaviors. So things like not getting an education, or maybe not being clean, or not having a relationship with spirit, or not having morality, or having certain addictions, or anything that is impure that doesn't get dealt with, that gets passed on because those aren't the only things that you know. So for me, I believe the generational curse that I am supposed to break has to do a lot with my womanhood. All throughout history, and also throughout the relationships that I've seen growing up, women have put aside their gifts and talents and passions for relationships. And I feel like they end up getting the short end of the stick, because you have children that grow up and move on and have their own families. And then you, most of the time, end up having a relationship that doesn't sustain through a lifetime because people outgrow each other, whatever. My marriage was 20 years long, and I'm only 42. So, like, that's an entire lifetime. And most people would probably get remarried, but, like, that seems exhausting and unnecessary to me. I feel like, for me, the generational curse that I'm supposed to be breaking is not having self-worth and making fear-based decisions and addiction. I have tried to connect with my ancestors to find out what story it is that they want me to tell. And I feel like all of the women in my bloodline have sacrificed themselves for their men and their children. And I'm going to break that. My husband is deceased, but I don't know why I keep calling him my husband. He was my ex-husband when he died. We had just gotten a divorce. My voice was being stifled in that relationship in every way. And I saw that in my adopted mother. I saw that in my mother-in-law. I saw it in every relationship. I've never seen a relationship where a woman's voice wasn't stifled in some way, or she didn't make a sacrifice of her own passions in some way. And so I'm going to make sure that I don't lose myself in pouring love into my family. I'm not going to repeat that mistake. I'm also not going to give up. I see people give up when the storm comes. Storms always pass. I've never seen 1,000-year storm. There's no reason to not just step back and wait for the storm to calm. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to be strategic. And I'm not going to repeat the mistakes of the women that came before me. But like I said, a lot of what my purpose is in my family has to do with relationships, especially with men, and also my relationships with my children. I feel like a lot of times men get valued over children, and that's not going to happen in this situation, which is why I'm such a stickler for staying celibate and staying single and staying focused on my family, because it's very important for our entire bloodline, for my children to be developed properly. And I am more concerned with them becoming whole people and having healthy relationships and growing big families that they can be proud of, that are not a bane on humanity. And add to the growth of life and not the death of it than to focus on me having a relationship with a man, because I'm not going to have any more children. You know, it is my time to be a grandmother. And so that's just where I'm going to focus. So, in order for me to be a great leader for my family and to break generational curses, I have to learn how to position myself so that I can see from other people's perspectives. Because I feel like for too long, I was very, very forceful about my way of life and my point of view. But there are millions of other perspectives. And I need to be able to step outside of myself and truly hear where other people are coming from and not just feel like what they have to say isn't good enough for me to heed. Because you can even learn lessons about God from a demon. You can learn from anyone. So the goal is moving forward for me to step outside of myself and look at a situation from multiple perspectives and not just mine. Peace.